Hi, my name is Gigi Rada Benitez, and I'm a licensed California realtor and a certified international property specialist, bridging the real estate luxury markets of Dubai and the United States. And I'm here today to share a little bit of my journey and what my hopes and dreams are for you who are tuning in and listening on my episode. I'm here with Ahmed Ashfaq, who is my partner here on the ground. Hi, Ahmed.
Hi, Gigi.
Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, it's always a fun to be here with you.
Right?
Always.
We've actually already recorded a few podcasts, and I feel like I needed to take it a step backward with this one and really just share why I'm even doing this and why I'm even here across the world. Away from my family and embarking upon this journey. So, and you are a huge part of it. So I thought this would be a great time for us to sit down and kind of explain.
Not? Let's do it. Let people know what are we doing here? What's going on over
and
here?
Who are you people?
Yes.
So just to go back, I've had a PR, pharmaceutical sales for several years, then started a PR firm that I've had for 15 years. But a year ago, as you know, I chose to come to Dubai to visit one of my best friends, Zainab, who lives here.
For the first time.
For the first time.
Exactly.
And I know both of you, because you and I are friends from when I was in my early 20s, have always painted this beautiful picture of Dubai. And both of you coming from San Diego to Dubai telling me, you got to come. But I had these preconceived notions of what Dubai was. And last year I told Zainab, listen, let's go to Turkey together. It's on my bucket list. She said, I'm not going unless you stop by Dubai first. So very negative attitude. I said, fine, I'll come for a few days. And I came, I arrived. The second day, because, you know, in America, what do we always hear? Oh, Dubai is just Vegas on steroids.
Exactly.
Dubai, what is it? It's man-made. It's fake.
Well, not when I was over there. I used to get to hear, do you people still live in tents? Do you have cars? Are you riding on camels? Yeah, 28 years ago, that's what the perception was.
Were there camels here 20 years ago? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
So yeah, you're lucky you got to hear the more advanced. Exactly, criticism. But, yeah.
So I arrived, and actually the second day I went to the Al Fahidi neighborhood, which is your historical neighborhood.
Yes.
And that's where it hit me. There was this phrase on the wall in the Fahidi neighborhood. And I even though I speak Arabic, I don't read or write, and I asked someone to translate it. And it said something to the effect of tolerance helps progress a society forward. And that is so true of what I felt here, is this tolerance, this diversity, this dynamic, innovative, beautiful
it's a
place.
Melting
pot.
Yes.
Of 85% are expats, more than 200 different nationalities, multiple languages, which English is obviously the common language of everyone here. But it just works. And so I said, okay, I need to explore more. What can I do? Something is here for me. And if I, as a first generation Arab American, had these preconceived notions, imagine what everybody else, back in America who hasn't traveled to Dubai feels. And so started to look into what are the top industries. And as we know, real estate is one of the hottest industries in Dubai. Dubai is the busiest luxury real estate market in the world. And this is where you come into play. So share with us a little bit about your experience in real estate.
Gigi, I, just like yourself, decided to come here on vacation and at the same time meet my mother. Having an Emirati mother, because, my mother did not live in the U.S.
Right.
She decided to continue on living here in Dubai. So growing up in the U.S., my mother decided to live here in Dubai. Okay. One day, I just decided to come and visit Dubai and visit my mother, obviously, since she lived over here.
And that was your first time?
That was my first time, yes. So when I arrived in Dubai, a lot of people asked me, was it a culture shock? not really, because I was born in Kuwait. So I was born in that environment. What amazed me about in Dubai, and remember, Gigi, we're talking about 24 years ago when none of this glitter and
what
glamour,
I see right now.
what you see
Yeah.
right now, which a lot of people are in love with.
Yes.
I fell in love with the simplicity of what Dubai had to offer 24 years ago, because we've done everything in the US, so there was nothing more you could show me to excite my imagination. So for me to come and run away from that rat race, from that hustle and bustle, I was like, wow, I think I could live here. It took me, I think, 2 weeks. And I was like, Mom, exactly 2 weeks after staying in Dubai.
And you had only come with the intention for being on vacation.
On vacation. Had no plans on living over here. Imagine that.
I hear that happens a lot, by the way.
It does.
Yes.
It does. There's something in the air over here.
Yes.
So remember, I'm not talking about the glitter, which wasn't back there.
Right.
Because a lot of people say, well, most people are attracted to like you said, the glitter and the glamorous
life and the
lifestyle.
Yep.
It wasn't that. It was just how soothing, how quiet, how easy paced life
harmony.
was. Yes, exactly.
It's harmonious.
I had finally
yes.
discovered harmony, as you would say. I would love.
Yes.
I prefer that word. Yes, and that was it for me. I just called my father and I said, Dad, I'm sending you a power of attorney.
I'm not coming back.
Yes, sell everything I own over there, because I choose not to come back, because I was afraid if I do go back,
you might change your mind.
I might change my mind. So I said, Dad, I'm not coming back. I'm sending you a power of attorney. Handle everything on my behalf. And it's been 24 years. I ended up getting married here. I have 2 boys right now.
And to clarify, your wife is also from America. She's Mexican-American.
Actually, my wife back then, who was my girlfriend, who traveled with me here to Dubai, by the way, her and I, we both came here on vacation. And next thing you know, 2 weeks later, I tell her, hey, Carla, how do you feel about not going back to America? Do you enjoy this? And she's like, you know what, Ahmed, I'm tired of working my butt off. I think I could get used to this lifestyle. That was
both
it.
Of you.
Both of us ended up staying over
and
here.
You have 2 children.
Exactly. Now we have 2 children.
Yes.
I have an 18-year-old son and a 13-year-old boy. And I have no intentions of ever going back. And
I hear this from so many people here. I ask so many people. A lot of stories are like similar to yours. And you know me. I'll ask everybody everything, probably way too much than they even want me to. But people come on vacation. They don't end up wanting to leave. People come to Dubai. They want to stay. They don't want to even go back to a different lifestyle. Is A, simplicity. I can understand that it might have been some simplistic then.
yes.
And B, the rat race and hustle, because this is not a cheap place to live.
Yes.
First of all. Second of all.
Well, Gigi, I have to reconsider that point. You know why? Because it all depends what you're looking for. What kind of lifestyle are you looking for in Dubai?
That's true.
Yes.
Okay.
You have a certain type of a lifestyle in California, in San Diego, and you are expecting the same over here.
Okay.
But not everyone is living that lifestyle here in Dubai. So it could be expensive for you, but it might not be expensive for others.
Fair.
Yes.
And it is tax-free.
And it's
You're
tax-free.
not taxed on your
Most
income.
importantly, it's a tax-free country.
City. So for the opportunities in the job market and the economy here is super strong, and then you're not taxed on your income.
Look at our population today versus where it was 24 years ago, okay? But one of the main aspects that which you will agree right now was the sense of security and safety. This is what I was really impressed, and this is why I am still here today with my children, even though we had a plan 5 years ago, or it was 6 years ago, to move back, and so my kids could continue their college education.
Okay.
And I will obviously retire back in the US. But all of that has changed because the sense of security that I feel here for myself, for my wife, for my children, I don't think I could ever get that in the US, especially with everything going, the crime rates and with the job situation, the homeless situation. Have you seen any homelesses here in Dubai?
No.
Okay. So all of that has changed. Okay. Now, why Or how did Dubai get to where it is today? It's simple. The rulers, they're good listeners. They listen and provide people what they need in this country in order to remain. Remember, Dubai is not just focusing on tourism. They just don't want tourist people to just come here, have a good time, and
they want
goodbye.
Talented,
exactly,
intelligent, educated, creative. They are attracting the smartest, hardest workers and talented people from all across
all over
the world. You were talking about population. You had to hit 3.5 million.
Yes.
It's going to be 5.9 million by, I think, 2030,
exactly.
I believe, if I'm correct. And I'm having a lot of people from Canada start calling me about moving here, not just investing here, but actually moving here. Similar stories to you talking about the safety.
Yes.
Which leads us into what we're doing, because with that growth, with that increase in the job market, with it not just being the simplistic life that, let's say you came 20 years ago, that was a smaller place.
Yes.
With the development and the growth and the economic stability, and it's becoming a global business hub where 75% of Fortune 500 companies are now have their headquarters
in Dubai.
here.
Exactly.
So global business hub, a trade, it's always been a trade hub. It's where Dubai is where East meets West, right? You can get to so much more of the world based here in Dubai.
Of course, look
in the US.
And look, not to forget, they're already working on the urban 2040 plan.
2040 plan.
Exactly.
Right? The largest airport in the world.
Bigger and better of everything.
Everything.
Basically.
They always want.
Exactly.
Tallest, biggest.
They want to make sure, Gigi, that Dubai is going to be one of the most comfortable places for people to live. And I could see that. I mean, I'll give you a quick example. DMV, for example, when you want to go register your car, when you
nightmare.
It's a nightmare. You will literally stand for hours in queue. You will not experience that in Dubai. In today's time, everything is gone digital. Exactly.
Even my tickets are digital.
There you go.
My speeding tickets.
So Dubai is always trying to create the convenience.
Best lifestyle. I love how you say about that the leaders listen and the leaders provide. You're not the only one who says that. Every single person I talk to has such a great admiration and respect for the government here. Incredible. Because of what you said, they're trying to give us the best life, not just for tourism, but for the people that are moving here.
Exactly.
And they're trying to make it attractive and incentivize with golden visa programs, with the job opportunities, with the schools, with the laws in place, making it a safe. You can't make racist comments, for example. You can't make xenophobic comments to anyone, with the fact that you have to figure out how, if 85% are expats and you have people from all over the world coming, how we're going to ensure safety and harmony.
Exactly. Okay. Harmony, which is the most important thing when you have all these different religions in one place. It plays a huge factor.
Absolutely.
It works. And the funny thing is, I used to always hear in America that it will not work. If we implement this, if we implement that, you're going to upset this person. You're going to go against that person's beliefs. But look over here, it works. They have proved that it works.
And it's very diverse. And as a matter of fact, I did a little field trip myself last weekend, and I just got in the car and I drove to, which is not in Dubai, but the Abrahamic house in Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi, yes.
And that is a structure that has a church, a mosque, and a synagogue, all in the same building or the same property. And you see people going to educate themselves and to attend the different services in the different houses of worship. And they made sure strategically that each building is built the same height, same width, to respect each. So there is such a respect for diversity here. Again, breaking my preconceived notions, right? Because I'm a Christian Arab. And so I had different ideas of what it would be like to visit a Muslim country. But in fact, Dubai, they don't care what you are as long as you are abiding by the laws and the rules, respecting each other.
Most importantly, respecting each other.
Yes. There's no such thing as road rage here, except for your honking your horns, which causes me rage, but I can't react. Which is funny. I will just say real quickly, like in the US, if someone honked the horn at me, I would react. But here, because you don't want to get kicked out, so you just don't react, right?
Yes, true.
And this all leads to when this year ago that my heart was triggered, that I want to come back and explore more and more, and understanding what's happening here in the population spurt and the tourism destination, and the plan, like you said, the urban plan, the D33 economic plan, all eyes are on the real estate market in Dubai. So I connected with you because you have 18 years of real estate experience. You had your own brokerage firm here, and immersed myself, came back, spent weeks here earlier this year to immerse myself.
Which was very important, because when we were trying to explain to you that this is how it works in Dubai, you did not believe it either in the beginning. You were like, how is that possible?
Why? No, this is not how we do it in the
This
US.
is not how we do it in the US.
Yes.
So I was busy trying to tell you this is how we do it in Dubai.
Yes.
You were telling me, no, this is not how we do it in
Yes.
the US. So this was a very good opportunity
Yes.
for you to come
Yes.
here to Dubai and experience it firsthand. So you could take that knowledge with you
Absolutely.
and tell the Americans over there that, guys, this is not a sales pitch. The market, the way it works and reacts in Dubai is not in the US.
It's
because
completely different.
Because Gigi, you need to realize one thing. You have a project that gets launched. Okay, say there's 250 apartments in that building. You have almost 6,000 registered agents.
And
then-
probably much more
and
unregistered.
much more
Yes.
that are unregistered.
Right.
So remember, when the buyers are coming, we're not talking about the local buyers who live here. You're talking about buyers that are coming from all
over.
parts of the world. So imagine the chaos that's taking place.
I don't have to imagine it because I've seen it.
Exactly. You witnessed
Yes.
a launch over here, how it is in Dubai. So imagine everyone is fighting for those 250 units that are being launched that particular day. In America, you don't have, that's not the case in California, for example. In California, when something gets launched, it's within the circle of the community and the residents.
Yes.
One has just sold his
Yes.
house. He wants a bigger house. So he's coming to that particular
Yes.
launch. So which is why one of our clients said that it takes anywhere around 1 year and more to sell a project.
Yes.
But that's not the case in Dubai.
No.
And believe it or not, nothing has changed, because when I started in 2002, it was a different ball game compared to what the market is today. The agents today, the new agents who are coming into the market, or who even joined 5 years ago, I would say, they have it made. They've been given everything on a silver platter compared to...
Because there's so much business
Exactly.
overflowing.
They don't need to sell.
They don't need to sell.
It's selling itself.
Exactly.
Unlike in 2002, when there was nothing in Dubai, my first question to my partner was, how am I going to sell
A place
What
in the desert.
Exactly.
Yes.
How am I going to convince people that they need to buy here
Yeah.
because this will take shape?
Yay.
So
They
I
couldn't
was-
visualize it.
Exactly. So there was a phrase that I used to use at that time, and it was something like, it was selling Dubai's property was like selling ice to the Eskimos. And I was literally selling sand to the Arabs at that time, convincing them
Such an
that
interesting
this will turn
yes.
into gold one day. I had to literally excite people's imagination, Gigi. So I myself had to have a very good imagination in order to convince someone that everything that you see today after 22 years will actually take shape.
Yeah, how could they even trust it, right? Even when I hear the stories about Palm Jumeirah, for example, which is that how 18 years old now?
A little bit older, yes.
But I hear the stories about when they first even started, and I don't know if you were part of that
Yes,
at that
of
time.
course I was.
Okay, selling Palm Jumeirah. And
Yes.
people are like, wait, what do you mean? A palm-shaped crescent and bronze in an island and man-made it. What are you talking about?
And look what happened.
It's the most
Everything took place.
iconic neighborhood, the most iconic development in the world. At that time, what was the price per square footage when Palm Jumeirah first launched?
Wow, I remember at that time I was selling a one bedroom, for example, on the shoreline apartment. A one bedroom was somewhere around 550,000 dirham, close to $120,000. A villa where there, the garden villas were starting at 5 million dirhams, which today is like 15 million dirham, for example. The signature villa, which was selling at 15 million, is around 80 million today.
So that's what's happening in Palm Jumeirah, and now we know Palm Jebel Ali is now going to be twice as big as size as Palm Jumeirah Island. And they have learned, even as successful as Palm Jumeirah is, it is 18, 20 years, okay?
Yes.
So they've learned how to make it even better, right?
Yes.
For investors.
True, but once again, investors need to keep one thing in mind, that it will be a long-term investment.
It is a long-term
vision. They should not expect what has taken place in today's current market in Palm Jumeirah will take place immediately in Palm Jebel Ali.
So we know that Palm was very successful, which actually segues into some of the other differentiators between when you started real estate then and what I'm learning about what probably one of the most attractive features of real estate in Dubai is now, which is the creation of the Dubai Land Department and RERA. And I had attended the International Property Conference back in February when I came to Dubai and had heard the greatest minds on the stage from around the world that have come here and have said that it's a constant strategy that Dubai has in place of looking 10, 20 years in the future about how to learn from any mistakes in the past. And after the market crash in 2008, that's just what they did. They sat down, got these brilliant minds together and said, let's look 10, 20, 30, 40 years in the future, and let's make sure we reduce these problems. One of being that flipping was so uncontrolled, because that attributes, for example, to a bubble risk. So share with us about the creation of DLD and how that really changed how you did real estate before I came into play. Because all I know are the safety measures and the safety precautions of a very transparent and regulated real estate market by the government.
Well, Gigi, after 2008, obviously these investors who had a bad experience due to their own bad decisions went back to wherever countries they came from, and they started telling other people, obviously, that no, you should not invest in Dubai because the market is not regulated. I got scammed, or the developer who I purchased with has fled the country, which, by the way, it did take place. There were a handful of developers who basically did not deliver, took the money and flee the country. So when the Dubai government saw that these issues taking place, obviously, we were not in it for the short term. Dubai obviously always has a long-term vision.
They do. Very strategic.
Same thing with the investors. The investors also need to have that same long-term vision. We did not want flippers anymore in the market. So, which is why the entity of RERA, the land department, which is run by the government, had to be formed in order to secure the investors from not being scammed by what had happened prior to 2008.
And let's talk about a few of those. So RERA, by the way, stands for Real Estate Regulatory Agency under the DLD. But you can still flip here. But what Dubai now does is that you can only flip after holding for a certain period of time, whether it be a year or 40% in, so that they can control that supply and demand and the price and make sure it's not contributing to a bubble risk.
Which was one of the biggest issues or factors that caused the crash and the bubble, because the prices were extremely exaggerated. I mean, to a point where, say I'm a client, I just bought a one-bedroom apartment for $100,000. I would literally 4 days later try to sell the same unit for $130,000. And there was no one there to question that seller. So, which is why the prices were so inflated, so exaggerated, that when the market did crash, the most exaggerated projects took the most biggest hit.
Yes.
Palm Jumeirah was one of those projects, because majority of the owners over there, the investors, had exaggerated their price to a point where it was not justifying the per square footage price.
And that's where a bubble risk comes into play. And we can talk about how Dubai is still considered a fair buy by the UBS bubble risk index that actually report just came out. But I want to touch something important. Even though you cannot flip the way you used to, you still can. And if you compare it specifically to America, an off-plan project, which means under construction project, which is very popular here in Dubai, you still
Cannot.
sell. Here, you can't. In America,
In America, you
cannot
can.
without penalty.
Which was very surprising to me when I found out from you.
I
Yes.
noticed a lot of agents don't know that here.
Yes.
So that's another huge benefit.
So you're obligated to hold it until it's completed.
3 to 5 years for whenever it's completed. So your money, is tied. And let's say there is an increase in price per square footage. Let's say you want to cash out on that capital
You're sitting on
appreciation.
dead money pretty much.
Yeah, and you're
Yes.
stuck in it. So you can't make moves for 3 to 5 years. Whereas in Dubai, an off plan,
Yes.
if you put your down payment down, and then once you meet that threshold that's set through the developer and managed by DLD,
Yes.
you can't flip it, take that
Yes.
capital appreciation. And we know this. It's happened to our
Exactly.
clients. We won't talk about specific numbers, but they're
Yes.
very happy
Yes.
that a lot of times, they're just putting one payment, maybe in their second payment, their deposit, their second payment, and they're flipping it.
Correct.
So that's one thing. It's controlled, it's managed, but it's still possible.
Which is why, by the way, it's very important to see who you're dealing with as far as a developer
and
goes.
see what their rules are.
Developer is very important.
Yes.
Who are you buying it through?
Yes.
Not necessarily saying that there's a problem with other developers because they're all following the same law
Yes.
and regulation. So as far as any investor feeling that if they are not investing with a semi-government development, they might have a risk of being cheated or scammed. No such thing could ever happen here in Dubai.
So, thank you. That leads me to the next point, actually. When we talk about the differences of when you were working before the development, DLD, and the creation of RERA.
Where the developer was able to collect the money and
Yes.
flee the country. Yes.
Thank you. Because this is another very important topic that Americans and foreigners want to understand about the safety of their money. That when they are in an off-plan payment plan with a developer, that first of all, before a developer can even start to sell their off-plan,
Yes.
there are precautions in place in that they have to have 20%.
Correct. The value of the
value
construction.
in a
Yes.
bank account. They have to basically prove their financial stability.
Correct.
And
They have to fully own the land as well.
fully own the land.
Yes.
This has taken away that fear of someone taking that money and jumping on a plane and
Exactly.
leaving. And that your money, when an American or a Canadian is wiring their payment plan for that off plan, it is in an escrow account that is managed by the government.
Correct.
And that the government sends a representative to the construction site to make sure that things are coming along as planned before they release your money.
Correct.
So these precautions are now in place thanks to this DLD and RERA. So you have flipping is controlled now. Still
Yes.
possible, but controlled.
Yes.
You have your money is safe because it's in an escrow account managed by the government. You have the semi-government owned developers, which already have very established reputation. But even if they're not, they're still all controlled because all real estate transactions are monitored by the government.
Correct.
Right? So...
And that's one of the reasons, Gigi, you have most of the foreign money coming to Dubai. Because I always believe, and I've always been telling that to most of my international investors, you should always take your money to a country that welcomes expats, foreigners. It is very important to do that. Why? Because you do not want to be stuck in a foreign country that's not persistent with its laws and policies, where they're constantly changing, not for the better, but for the worse.
And Dubai's constantly figuring out how to make this a safe haven for foreign investors with their incentives such as tax-free, no taxes here on capital appreciation, no property taxes. We didn't even touch that. No property taxes. Your ease of accessing your money back should you decide to sell. I mean, this question is asked to me all the time. Oh, no, your money's wired right back as far as long time as it takes for that money to go through, bank to bank. It's sent back to you. So the safety is covered, right? So when we talk about why Dubai, it's a safe investment.
Yes.
Capital appreciation opportunities. Conservatively speaking, we're looking at about 10%.
Correct.
Okay. Rental returns. Long term, 7 to 9%. Short
long term, let's try to be a little bit more conservative.
Okay.
And I always like to be on the safe side without exaggerating prices. I like to stick anywhere around 6 to 8% on annual basis.
Which is still significantly
exactly,
higher than what's
compared to US and Europe and Canada, of course, which we're hearing about
A
right
lot
now. Airbnb, which is another topic where, unlike the US or Europe, we have zero restrictions on Airbnb compared to the crisis now Airbnb is facing in America right now.
And in Europe.
And
so
in
what are the
Europe.
numbers for a short term?
Short term, once again, I will be very conservative because I'm sure you've had a lot of numbers thrown at you. 18% to 24%.
12 to 15 is what I have found.
Exactly. That would be my conservative
and significantly
number.
higher in ultra prime luxury locations if we talk about.
Depending also on a very prime location, which people need to understand. Not every location in Dubai is meant for Airbnb, which is another misconception here in Dubai based on which agent that buyer is dealing with. Because at the end of the day, remember, Gigi, most agents want to sell. If they've not been long enough in the market, they have no ethics or morals. They're just looking at that sale. So they will tell the client what he wants to hear, not what he should know.
And Ahmed, that's where you and I differentiate ourselves.
Exactly. That's what separates us from them.
Because there are, and not to put anyone down, but I have noticed coming from the United States. Well, first of all, I'm a publicist. Everything is relationship based for me.
Correct.
And I come from pharmaceutical sales. Everything is relationship based. But I notice in Dubai, and I think it's because it can be considered like a transient, almost. People come here, they try to make it. If they don't, they might have to go back home, right?
Correct.
So you have a lot of people, like agents that I talk to in developers' offices, I swear, by the time I came out here, they were already gone.
Yes, the turnover is extremely
it's really high. So there's a transactional type of relationship versus long-term relationship of how to guide investors on that long-term strategy that we were talking about, from not just purchasing, but we want to walk you through what we offer is almost a concierge style service of an international tax attorney, an international accountant, a property manager to help manage
your Airbnb
or your long-term rentals, the marketing for that property management. You don't have to get on an airplane and come out here.
Exactly.
Okay. Everything, mortgage lender. Yes. We have this all figured out. We didn't even touch about the fact that now you're able to finance properties.
We're a one-stop shop, Gigi, at the end of the day.
And relationship-based.
Most importantly.
Relationship-based.
Yes.
Because brand and our name is important to us. And what we are doing that's different than I believe any other real estate agency is doing is helping guide foreigners, specifically Americans and Canadians, on how to invest in Dubai and make it a successful investment and how to be really pleased in the long term. When is the time to sell? When is the time to take that profit and flip it into another property? Where, as you stated, where are the neighborhoods based on our specific client and customers' goals, what they're looking for, whether they're looking for that short-term or long-term cap, or they're looking for a passive income through rental returns, or they're looking to move here in a few years. How many clients do we have that say, look, we want to get in the market now, and we're eventually going to transition our lives to move there, so get us in an area that has a good school district for our kids.
Yes.
So this is what we're trying to do, and this is what's really unique about our offering, and this is what I've been very excited about this journey for the past year, of really coming here and understanding why Dubai, and then how Dubai, and then taking that information back. And I'm so lucky that I have you, because there's that trust factor of us being friends for 3 decades now. It just aged us. Family friends, and our families are friends, and knowing each other very, very well, knowing that you have the experience. I have the American mentality as far as what their desires are.
And that's what makes it easier, Gigi, for us to work together, is because we both come from that American mentality. We know exactly what they want. We know exactly how they want to be treated, And like you mentioned, me coming from the hospitality industry, that customer service is a crucial point for us that drives us, Me being in the hospitality industry, being a hospitality major. So it was never about the money. It's the joy, the satisfaction we get by providing, by making people happy. That just gives us everything. I like to go above and beyond for my clients because we've always been taught it's about relationships. Building relationships.
Absolutely. And it's our brand. And it's been really exciting to learn, to help educate others. It's been an amazing journey. I believe it's still only the beginning.
Yes.
But I'm very proud of what we're doing. The
Definitely.
feedback for the clients that we've already sold to has been incredible because they're already making money, so they're happy.
True.
And I thank you. I thank you for allowing me to explore my dream of visiting Dubai through real estate as my vehicle, helping demystify Dubai, not just from a real estate, but from a greater scale and on a greater macro vision to my people back home. And I look forward to what the future holds for us, for our investors, for our families, and to continue to be that bridge between the Americans and the Dubai real estate.
Definitely. Yes, Gigi, the feeling is mutual because it's been a while I've been trying to tap into the U.S. market. But like I said, if you're not physically there to explain to them how it works, it's very difficult to reach out. Dubai right now, it's a buy and sell market. No one has the time to educate anyone. You've seen that right now.
Nobody.
For example, when you go to a developer's office, agents don't have the time to sit with you to tell you everything from A to Z.
Or how or why.
Or how or why.
Here's an accountant,
Exactly.
here's a lawyer, here's this.
Sadly
here's this.
speaking, because a lot of the American investors don't understand that, and they have made comments such as that's not how it works in America. We want that customer service. I'm the buyer, I'm the client. Totally understand. But unfortunately, you need to realize a developer has only a handful of brokers, agents, and time. They cannot sit an hour with every agent that walks through or every phone call they get. So if you're a buyer, you have that deposit check ready.
That's what they're paying attention to.
That's what they're paying attention
Yes.
to. But if you're expecting an agent to sit with you over the phone to discuss every little detail and expect to explain to you how things worked out 18 years ago versus now, it will never happen. And that's where you come in the picture. So it was a perfect timing for us to collaborate with each other because now you could take that time and give them that service that they demand. Because at the end of the day, it's a lot of money they're talking about putting it across.
So of course they want to feel comfortable.
Exactly.
I understand that. You understand that.
I would expect the same thing too.
Exactly.
Because if I was in their shoes, trust me, I would be like, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
How can I wire this amount of XYZ money
Yeah.
across the world, not knowing
and what do you mean
where
it's
it's
tax-free?
going?
People don't even believe sometimes the tax-free.
Exactly.
And so yes, and that's why we started,
Yes.
you know, what we're doing. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast series and this YouTube series is so the top asked questions by these investors, I'm able to address them. And I have a series of experts that I've tapped into, from mortgage brokers to property managers to a financial concierge that helps set up businesses, even, you know, corporations here, to members of the government and the DLD and RERA, you and I, and talk about all of these questions that people ask a lot of. And so I hope that people will tune in. I hope they will appreciate this knowledge and continue to reach out and ask us what other questions they want to know, because this is what I'm doing. I'm investing the time in uncovering the answers and providing it to them and helping guide these investors on this journey with us. So thank you, Ahmed.
Pleasure's mine.
Thank you for people that are tuning in and listening and who have helped support me on the journey. I'm going to put out thank you for my content creator, EMAAR, who's been helping me create, Avanti, who helps me with my beautiful artwork, and my team at Realty Executives back in San Diego, who my broker that you met came all the way out here, Terry Dillon. And it was her first time leaving the United States.
It was such a pleasure meeting her. Yeah, and it was her first time
leaving the country. And she's super supportive, and my associate Mike Aon, that's been really supportive. My husband, who's supporting me on this journey. Most importantly, who's like, you know, just okay, Gigi, if this is your dream, do it. So I thank you, and I'm excited for the future. And with that, I would say please like, subscribe, share, make sure you're following, and stay tuned for my next episode.